Wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, you can listen to this show wherever you get your podcasts, on YouTube at Badbit Games. And if you like what you hear, please drop us a 5-star review on iTunes. And if you really, really like us, you could drop us $1 on patreon.com/badbit. But with all that said, with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
Man, that was real good, Joe. That was a real good intro. That was the best one.
That was my best one yet.
In the 2 years that we've been doing this, that might have been the best one you've ever done.
Honest to goodness, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling electric because today we have probably some of the biggest news in our 2 years of existence of a podcast. Yeah. This is huge. We're going to be talking about E3 being canceled. That's right. E3 2020 canceled. We're going to be talking about Horizon Zero Dawn finally confirmed coming to PC. We're going to be talking about Last of Us being adapted as an HBO show. We're going to be talking about Reggie coming to GameStop. We're going to talk about Ghost of Tsushima and so much more. But Kyle, before we get into all that goodness, first, how are you doing, sir? And what have you been playing?
I'm hanging in there. I will not lie to you, Joe. I am a little worried about this illness going around the world.
Yeah, same here, fam.
I told you before recording that there's some confirmed cases on either side of me, and it just feels like they're slowly coming in and just surrounding me.
Also, we can't say it because YouTube will literally flag the video. So
the
freedom of speech is dead. I don't know what's more alarming, but like we'll just call it. You know what? We'll call it the illness. Or down with the sickness.
Oh, I like that a lot.
So when we talk about E3, we're just gonna do
Please disturb. Don't copyright claim this. Don't do it.
You're right. Every move we make, YouTube's gonna be on us. But Kyle, same here. Like it's everywhere. The first case that broke out is 15 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
In my state.
Same.
So like, man. Every move we make, every step we take.
Last of Us is getting too real. It's getting too real.
You know what? I'm prepared. I got duct tape. I got shivs. I could defend myself.
All right, that's fair.
Grown ass man.
That's fair.
Know? Kyle, listen. Let's get the real stuff out.
Sure.
Who cares about it? Let's be real, right? I've never washed my hands in like 7 years. Kyle, my question for you is, what have you been playing?
Not to stray too far from what we're talking about. I dived back into the Division 2.
Oh shit, I just read it on the dock.
Speaking of like dealing with a pandemic and illness wiping out people. Obviously I bought this a couple weeks back when it was like $3 on PSN because it was too good to pass up. You bought it on every system possible for that same reason.
I bought it on a pocket calculator somehow.
Oh, like one of those TI-80s, like graphing calculators?
Yep.
That's awesome.
I spelled boobs with it, too. Really? 3 minutes in? This is what I'm going to start with?
This is an important episode, and we're starting on the right foot.
Starting strong.
I loved the Division 2 from what I played earlier last year, before I kind of put it down. I think my stats said I played for 17 hours or so before I stopped. I liked it. It just didn't fully grab me. But now when I hop back in, I'm all about gathering that loot and upgrading my loadout, and it is a ton of fun. I've been playing with some people. It's
oh, really? So you've been actually using, because you're a solo gamer.
I am
so
a solo
actually
gamer.
Been playing.
Yeah.
Have you been playing with friends or just randos?
No friends. We started a kind of NYC clan.
You and Mike have been just burning up DC. I love it. Yeah. Now, how do you like the shooting gallery portions, like the missions themselves or the dungeons, whatever we're gonna call them in this game?
They can be very repetitive, and I get that. Okay. It is, but I feel like the shooting feels so good in Division. Every gun has its own unique feel to it and unique sound, and I'm enjoying that a whole lot. Also, it looks real pretty on my 4K TV. I didn't have it when I played it last year.
Oh,
and the
snap. So this
HDR
like
is
totally new for you.
real nice in Division.
Okay.
So I'm excited. This will be probably my main focus until like Doom, or actually I take that back because the major game of mine is I'm getting to play it on Friday. MLB The Show is out, so like
Oh shoot!
I
right.
totally forgot that will be my next thing. But this is a nice distraction before all the big releases start coming up.
And it's only $3.
Exactly.
That's the main thing as well.
Yeah.
Like I'm very tempted to get back into Division because I'm only so many trophies away from the platinum. So I feel like if I could get that overpowered armor, I could get back to the original content and just wipe the floor with everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I'm thinking about. But yeah, I've been playing Doom on PS Now, which I'll be making a video on that on Bad Bit Games. And most importantly, Kyle, I played a new, and you're going to be shocked about this, Battle Royale game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Just a small game.
Warzone.
Small indie
Just
title.
a little indie thing. We're going to see how it goes.
It was in the indie mega booth at PAX, we just couldn't find it. It was so tiny.
Yeah, it was under the U.S. Navy banner. Anyway, Warzone, man, this was announced late last week. It has come out here. It is on every platform known to man, even that pocket calculator I mentioned earlier. Crossplay enabled. That's how I've been playing with my Xbox buddies on my PlayStation 4. And let me tell you something. This is... I think there was an article of how this Battle Royale, this Call of Duty Battle Royale, feels more Call of Duty than Blackout. And it also paints this picture of how we spent $60 on Blackout, this Battle Royale mode, essentially. And it is here for free now.
Yeah.
Like,
does it feel like you paid $60 for a beta or like a test?
Yes. Now playing Warzone, it is way more refined. It's kind of taking the best elements from like something like Fortnite. So like the shield system is very reminiscent of Fortnite. There's no like purple shields or green shields or whatever. You're picking up, I think they're called like steel plates, and you're using that. That's how your shields work in the game. Weapons and loot just fall on the floor, and you're able to collect them by running into it like Fortnite. It's squad based like Apex Legends. There's a ping system that is not as good as Apex Legends. Actually, pretty bad. And but other than that, there are also the map's huge. Kyle, like this is a 150 person battle royale map. And the map speaks for that as well. So like the cool thing about this mode that is different, and it kind of wows me how, I mean, I get it. Battle Royale is still a young genre, but it amazes me how there's so many fresh takes. Like Apex is a fresh take, so different than Fortnite. And even with this, a squad-based Battle Royale, way different than Apex in terms of if you die in the game, for example, you actually have a respawn. Kind of. You actually get sent to a gulag where then it turns into a gunfight mode where you're fighting someone else for an extra life, which I thought is pretty awesome. And if you win, you get to drop back down with your friends. And if you lose, well, that's it. That you have to wait for your friends to get to a spawn point or like a little like a shopping cart icon. I forget what it's called, but then you purchase your friend another revive and they come into the game. And then the other cool thing as well, when it comes to like loot and stuff, the drop boxes, the supply drops in the game actually give you your loadout, whatever loadout you want from your normal Call of Duty play. So if you have a particular loadout that you're into, you don't like the guns you have, you could get the loadout with all the cool stuff attached to it, and that's it.
That's dope.
It feels really good. It shoots like Call of Duty. It feels tight. And yeah, it's a ton of fun. I'm liking it a lot. I don't know if this is an Apex killer. I'm just maybe enjoying it more because I'm really good at it. And I can safely say that. I'm very good in this game. So I'm liking it a lot. Don't know if it's going to be my main slice, but it is something. Already got a win in it. Got a couple of like top 5. So
nice.
This is it, man. It's awesome. With that, Kyle, listen, enough of me blabbing about Battle Royale. Okay, let's talk about some gosh dang news. But before we do, I want to shout out all of our patrons over at patreon.com/badbit. Of course, our newest patron, thank you so much, Stephen Weber, and our gold patron, Robbie Bobby Miller himself. Thank you all so much. Because of you guys, we went to PAX and I got this pain in my back. But with that, Kyle, let's get into the news, sir.
Let's square it up.
Square it up.
Really quick before I read this,
Yes.
I did replace the illness word with the word the illness in this article. So in the main article, it says the real thing. I replaced it just in case anyone is like, you plagiarized. No, I just replaced it so I don't have to mess it up.
I got you.
Jason Schreier from Kotaku writes, E3 2020 canceled. The biggest trade show in video games is skipping a year. E3 2020 is canceled as a result of the illness that is currently spreading across the globe. The organizers of the conference said today, quote, after careful oh my goodness, I thought that said consideration. After careful consultation with our member companies regarding the health and safety of everyone in our industry, our fans, our employees, our exhibitors, and our longtime E3 partners, we have made the difficult decision to cancel E3 2020, scheduled for June 9th through 11th in Los Angeles. The ESA added that it will be looking to coordinate an online experience to showcase industry announcements and news in June 2020, end quote. Warner Brothers Games was preparing to host an E3 press conference for the first time, according to 3 people familiar with the publisher's plans. There, WB Games had planned to talk about a number of much-anticipated games, including a new Batman, a Harry Potter game, and the next game from Arkham developers Rocksteady Studios. It's been a bad year for the ESA. Last year, E3 leaked the personal information of thousands of journalists. Earlier this year, video game personality Jeff Keighley announced that he would be skipping the show, where he has traditionally hosted an event called E3 Coliseum, full of panels and interviews. And just last week, E3 creative director I Am 8-Bit also pulled out of the show for reasons that appeared unrelated to the illness.
So, Kyle, what is first and foremost your take on all this news?
Yeah.
What is your take on E3 being canceled because of
Obviously, it's a huge bummer. As a video game fan, E3 has always been something I look forward to. I have taken off of work. I have sat on the couch and just watched every conference, everything that I could possibly get my hands on of coverage for all these cool new games that were announced. So obviously, for me, that's a bummer. But like personally, being affected, it doesn't really affect me more than just being a fan, right? I am super bummed out, and really it hurts about everyone that works at the Coliseum, works at the hotels, all the smaller games that won't have a chance to showcase their game on the biggest stage, pretty much, for video games. It is a big time decision. I still think it's the right decision for everyone's health involved, but
oh, absolutely. I don't think there's I've seen some people like, oh, they're just caving into hysteria.
No.
I'm like, I mean, what we just talked about in the beginning, like it's happening.
Yeah,
it's growing rapidly.
Let's settle everyone down affected professionally. That it's obviously a huge blow for everyone involved. Yeah,
for me, I think Nate, our guest, the two-headed giant himself, stated, what I'm the most bummed out about is the fact that like all these indie games, where they're going to go, if not E3, like the deals that could have been made won't get made, and that's the thing that he's mostly worried and concerned about, as we're seeing things like GDC, South by Southwest, now E3, PAX even was affected. That's a huge hit for indies and the smaller studios. Like at the end of the day, Warner Brothers can make their own little conference or their own little indie direct about Batman, but nobody else is going to be, the smaller studios don't have that luxury of having one of the most, valuable IPs ever out there. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that I'm the most bummed about. It also goes to like the future of E3.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that this is the beginning of the end for it? Do you think E3 comes back same strength next year?
Ooh, same strength? I don't know.
Yeah.
I do think it'll be back next year. I just don't think it will be it's going to be hard to overcome everything even before the illness.
Right.
Ooh, I can't do that very well. I just think all the humps and hurdles before this is still a huge thing to overcome for the ESA, with like the leaking of the journalist info, you know, Jeff leaving because of that and other things, and Sony not being there. It just seems like a shell of what it already was.
Yeah, and now it's.
I do think it'll come
strange.
back. I just don't think it'll be the same heavy hitting thing that it has been.
What I would really like to see, and I think maybe the person that could do it is a Jeff Keighley or Penny Arcade that does PAX, is a true conference for what we the gamers view E3 of being.
Sure.
And I think the closest thing of that is a PAX, but like I would like, a place where Sony's there, Microsoft's there, Nintendo's there, and like people just get to play the newest games.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really care about the conference. You can still have that as a Nintendo Direct like style, but like, hey, have it so that people can actually play The Last of Us 3 in 2066. You know what I mean?
I think I'm trying to remember. I don't know his Twitter handle, but I'm pretty sure it was Cameron Abbott from That Nerdy Site was said a tweet out today that I think other people also said around the same thing, but have this new E3 in the coming years be like a week long, and have it be media only for the first 3 days, so that way they can still do their jobs, get everything, all the news about these games out, and then after those 3 days it turns into a PAX and the public can come in and just play whatever. I think that's actually a really genius idea.
Yeah. But who knows? We might not even get to see the light. You know, we might not even see the day.
That is true.
Famous Seamus, and the most famous Seamus I've ever met in my entire life. You could write that down. That's a fact. Writes in with this question: with E3 now canceled, do you think Sony will/should do a state of play during the week of E3? Should other companies join in as well? Now, again, like out of the Kotaku article, E3 does say that they're planning on doing something, an online presence of some sort, but do you, Kyle, think that Sony is going to take one of these slots around this E3 enigma of an online experience? Or do you also think companies are just going to be like, nah, E3, we're just going to do our own online event? I mean, we already see Xbox is doing it. Yeah. So what is your thoughts?
I always thought that Sony was going to do one around the same time anyway.
Same.
So I don't think this will alter that plan at all. I mean, at some point, Joe, they gotta talk about PlayStation 5. At some point.
You think so?
At some point, they have to. If it's coming out this year, they have to talk about it eventually.
Dude, let me tell you, there's been this talk, like argument online about like, is the PlayStation 5 an RDNA 1 or RDNA 2 base? And I'm just like, what?
I don't care about any of that. Just
I don't give a shit.
I want to see it. Let me see the box.
Let me see the box, and I'm gonna be set. Like I don't even know what you just said to me. I don't know if I should be insulted.
Yeah. I also think other companies are going to join in. Like you mentioned, Xbox. I believe Ubisoft put out a tweet saying that they are also going to be looking into doing their own digital type of event. Also, I've seen a lot of people in gaming media say, like, even though, like, you say do a direct, it seems so easy. It's still going to be pretty hard to kind of pull it together with 3 months. Yeah. Like, it's going to be a lot of effort to get that together.
I mean, I was talking to one of the indie devs. I was just like, so, like, when did, like, you know, because indies are a huge thing. And I talked to him, like, when did Nintendo reach out to you? They're like, oh, like 8 months before it even happened. I was like, what? Like, yeah. Like, these things are set up 6 months at least before, you know, they're out there. So, like, yeah, an online version of that in less than, a version of that in less than 2 months.
Yeah. You also got
a little over 2 months.
I assume every single company, developer, publisher wants to have their own style to it as well. So like they've got to make sure nothing really looks the same. Yeah. Like if we get just the same style of direct, because that's just the easy comparison to make, direct style video all weekend long, it's going to get monotonous. It's not going to be fun. It's just going to be like they're throwing stuff at us. Like I want to see a different style for every single presentation.
That is asking a lot, because I'm really thinking, hey, it's like a blank conference room. and like they have the devs in there, and it's kind of like when Apple reveals something, they do it at the mothership, they call it, and it's just press that needs to be there, but again, it'll probably be their employees, and then just like Yves Guillemot in there with his little baguette, and he's gonna talk about Ubisoft games. Like that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. And I think that is where everybody's expectation should be as well, because if we're thinking like this is gonna be the most grandiose event ever, like I want a different feeling for each one. I don't think you're gonna get that with, like, again, little under 2 months left to actually getting something out there. So, and Ray Martinez, speaking of PS5, when we're gonna see it, he writes in with this question: with E3 officially being canned and GDC also being canceled, do you think Sony will have any official gathering for the PlayStation 5 reveal, or do you think this will be done on a state of play? Kyle, what are your thoughts?
That's a great call. Especially they're saying like avoid crowds. I don't know if they will do that. I think it might just be a video of them explaining. Yeah. Mark Cerny, hey, you can do a video.
Hello, everybody. I know you're currently down with the sickness. Ooh, wah, ah, ah. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to remember the lyrics.
It's just
trying to do the Mark Cerny voice.
Come on, get down with the sickness. Your mother, get down with the sickness.
Your mother, get down. Get down with the sickness. Your mother, get down. Get down with the sickness. Ooh, wah, ah, ah, ah. Okay, go.
Here's Knack 3.
No, here's Knack 3. Now open this fucking pit. All right, listen, Kyle. Mark Cerny being metal as fuck is one thing, but so you really do think it's going to be just a state of play, that's it?
I do. Strictly because everyone seems to be so avoid large crowds. Like it is in the best interest. Yeah.
I'm leaning towards that as well. Just seeing how many just like media and just again company restrictions on flying. Like again, this is getting real where I work at a medium range PR firm and they're like, everyone will work remotely from here on out. We don't know what's going on. Just be safe. Don't go outside. Don't cough on your hands. And so for me, I'm thinking, yeah, this is a state of play. Also, whatever Xbox is doing is also a state of Xbox, whatever.
An inside Xbox, or whatever it is.
An inside Xbox. There you go. It's going to be different, and it's funny how has changed the way. I'm just nonchalantly now doing it. I'm trying my best. How it's affected the rollout of these consoles. I think Antonio was hyping us with a little bit of fear. He's just like, I don't think these consoles are coming out anytime soon. And, or this year. I don't think that's the case because, right now Down with the Sickness is on the decline in China. So I think things are going to get, back up. I just don't think the supply is going to meet the demand. But yeah, to me, that's what it's at. It's interesting how this all shakes out for me.
Definitely.
Now, Antonio does have a question relating to E3, and he has this. In my opinion, what gamers want out of E3 presentations never fully hit their potential due to long-winded presenters and the abundance of trailers with no gameplay. If the last 2 years, Sony, Xbox, Ubisoft, EA, and all delivered A+ mind-blowing, wish-fulfillment presentations, would E3 still be alive today? Would this be a different conversation?
Yeah, that's a very interesting take.
Yeah. I mean, first we have to live in a society where every presentation's hitting a grand slam, which I just don't think that's possible. But no, I still don't think so. Because I'm just the old school mentality of you want to control the message, you want a clear message, you want to get it to as many people as you can. You get it. You get the third option. You get C when you're at E3, you get the message out to everybody, but you're still going up against whatever Sony has, whatever Xbox has, whatever Ubisoft has. Like, you're still also then going with whatever technical difficulties, acts of God might happen. So to me, yeah, in a perfect world, would this conversation still, would we be having this conversation of will E3 stay relevant? Yeah, I still think in a perfect society,
Yeah.
where we have universal healthcare, that everything's worked out. Yeah. Kyle, what do you think?
I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. I still think it'd be in trouble because, like, Antonio's positing that, like, if Sony was even there last year, which they weren't, so like it was already on the decline because one of the major games makers, games like deliverers, weren't
Just
there.
didn't want to show up.
So like it was already suffering. But yeah.
And I mean, we heard it time and time again, and I think the reason why Sony backed out was like people are like, they're just showing a different trailer to the same game over and over again, and so Sony was just like, okay, we don't want that narrative built for us, so we're just gonna end it right here. We're gonna do our own thing. So yeah, Nathan writes in, this will be the last E3 topic. He says, what was the most infamous E3 event? I honestly think there is nothing better than the PlayStation 4 reveal. And practically everything.
Absolutely. That, seeing what Xbox did earlier in the day, or was it the day before? I forget.
Yeah.
It kind of blends together.
I think the night, that night,
right?
I think. Xbox always went, I think,
in the morning,
a couple hours before Sony.
And then Sony came guns blazing and just kind of ripped them a new one. That was super memorable. And yeah, I also remember, like, obviously the PS3 $5.99 thing. The Wii, what was it? Wii Music, where the guy was like drumming on stage with the Wiimotes, or the Wonder Book presentation for PlayStation. Like, those are real bad too.
You're remembering some. These are not infamous. These are
like Twisted Metal, the ice cream truck coming out, and David Jaffe's like, dope. Hey, the new Twisted Metal's coming. That was pretty cool.
But yeah, for me,
Final Fantasy VII reveal, get out of here. The remake, get out of here. That's awesome.
One of my most memorable has to be Spider-Man, for sure, because I love Spider-Man so much.
Yeah.
God of War was also excellent, but
Same
my
here.
favorite is Horizon Zero Dawn. So it is the 2016 PlayStation.
That was
event.
Resident Evil 7 too.
Yeah. God,
I was in the theater for that one. That was an experience. Just being with PlayStation fans, like watching that Resident Evil 7 trailer and not realizing it was RE7, and when those words popped up, everyone losing their mind. It was awesome.
Yeah. For me, I remember being in the basement and they're like, don't come out until you learn your lesson. But like my brother and I were watching E3. He's not a big gamer, and like Horizon Zero Dawn was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I gotta try this out. This looks fucking cool. And it also goes to like why I again love Sony so much is like, who would let a company have this idea and have at it? Like, that's bonkers.
Such a different idea from what they've already done.
So different.
Yeah.
Because it could have been just like, oh, it's a third-person shooter game, right? Like, it's just another cover base, whatever. And it is third person, but it's action. It's different. I don't know. I love it so much. And with that, the next story is Horizon Zero Dawn related. Take it away, Kyle.
Chris String over at GamesIndustry.biz writes, Horizon Zero Dawn confirmed for PC. Flip your tables now. Break everything you own on your desk. It is a riot in the streets. Not really. Don't do that. You're awful if you do that. Horizon Zero Dawn will launch on PC this summer. PlayStation has confirmed. The news comes via PlayStation Worldwide Studios president Herman Hulse speaking in an interview with the PlayStation blog. Hulse doesn't rule out more first-party games coming to PC, but says there are no plans to release PC versions of PlayStation games at the same time as their console counterparts. Horizon Zero Dawn launched on PS4 in March of 2017. Quote, I think it's important that we stay open to new ideas of how to introduce more people to PlayStation and show people maybe what they've been missing out on, he said. And to maybe put a few minds at ease, releasing one first-party AAA title to PC doesn't necessarily mean that every game now will come to PC. In my mind, Horizon Zero Dawn was just a great fit in this particular instance. We don't have plans for day and date PC releases, and we remain 100% committed to dedicated hardware, end quote. In the interview on the PS blog, host discusses what gamers can expect from future Worldwide Studios titles, and suggests that although the firm will be experimenting with new ideas, the focus remains on creating single-player, story-driven titles that have proven to be very successful on PS4. Quote, "We're very committed to dedicated hardware, as we were before," he stated. "We're going to continue to do that, and we're very committed to quality exclusives, and to strong narrative-driven single-player games. At the same time, we're going to be very open to experimentation, to new ideas, just trying things out to see what works. I think that's also very much part of the DNA of Worldwide Studios," end quote.
So this is something that's been rumored since like late December.
Yeah, we talked about it way long ago.
God, we've talked. I think December and January. Mm-hmm. It's finally here. Yeah. We saw some people react positively.
Ooh. If you don't know what we're talking about, Joe retweeted the video.
Yeah.
What a sad excuse for a PlayStation gamer. Get out of here.
Yeah. This guy flipped his desk. Crates for some reason are in his room.
Like his
wooden crates.
TV's on the ground, I think. Like it's
broken. Glass everywhere.
It's all because
he's like,
breathing heavy. Like
yeah. Oh, he was sobbing. He was just like,
oh my god.
And I'm like, are you? All right.
3 years ago when the game came out.
Chill out. And they're like, Sony's dead because more people could play their game. It's like, what type of world are we living in, Kyle?
I don't know.
Like, look, I used to be a dumb idiot. I'm going to be first and foremost when I used to think, oh yeah, exclusives have to have incentive to purchase the console, which is still very much true. And I thought, Xbox having their exclusives on PC devalued Xbox, but I was proven wrong.
Yeah, I was with you.
I'm saying it right here. I was wrong. Mm-hmm. It has done nothing but bring great publicity to the Xbox brand, to the ecosystem as well. So credit where credit's due. And also, PlayStation isn't a slouch here either. They've made PC games in the past. They had a whole division focused. I think Daybreak Games used to be Sony Interactive. So listen, Sony's had their crack at PC. We're even seeing some of their IPs like Journey, which is theirs. Like, oh my gosh, why do I keep on blanking on the name? The David Cage games.
Drawn to
Whatever,
Death?
all the David...
God of War?
No.
Twisted Metal?
No, David Cage.
Oh.
David Pompous Cage.
Heavy Rain.
I love you.
Beyond Two Souls.
Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls. All those games are Sony games. He needed their permission to get on the Epic Game Store. They're there because Sony allowed it to. So let's not pretend that this isn't one but of many footnotes or footstones or whatever. No, wait.
Stepping stones.
There you go. To PlayStation games coming onto PC. It's gonna happen. It's here.
We have the same sentiment, and I hope most of our listeners have the same thing. Like, I want as many people as possible to experience these amazing games that I've been playing throughout the years.
With an asterisk, except Xbox. Get that shit.
I will not. I will wipe that asterisk away.
Oh, really? You wouldn't care if Uncharted's on Xbox?
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like Xbox fans can't experience.
No, they're allowed. They'll finally get a taste.
I don't ever want to see them hop consoles.
Right.
PC's fine.
Yeah, for me, again, exclusives are the incentive for the box, and I think what companies have learned is that the PC audience is nothing but growing, and PC players don't really care about our exclusives or Xbox exclusives. They'll buy them if they come to their platform, but I think what PC players enjoy the most is more than just, high fidelity gaming, high resolution gaming, that mods, whatever have you. They love options. That's what PC players love. So if you give them the option of buying a PlayStation game and you can mod it, you can do whatever the hell you want with it, PC players are going to buy that thing, but they're not interested in PlayStation. They're not interested in Xbox 9 times out of 10 because those are controlled environments. Those are controlled ecosystems. They want something open. And so allowing PC players who were probably 9 times out of 10 not going to buy a console to begin with, and you're not really going to be making much money off of them anyway, why not just, hey, here's the game, buy it, there you go. And then the incentive of an exclusive is you buy it on our box, and you're into our ecosystem for people that want convenience, because that's what console gaming is all about.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that makes the most sense. The next barrier to break is when consoles are donezo, they're dead, and they're just platforms, how that's going to look. Are we going to have an Xbox box that has a PlayStation app? Probably in the future. But that's a far distant one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, to me, nothing but great news here.
Nothing but great news.
But nothing but great. And honestly, if you that person came out and they're just like, "Hey, this is a parody account, and it was literally just a joke," and like, even if that was, the cry for help, is sad.
As Cloud Strife says in the remake demo, get help.
Get help.
Also, before we move on to the next set of news, we are recording this on March 11th of 2020, and that is such a speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, that is an important date in Horizon Zero Dawn. Do you know why, Joe?
Why is that?
It is Elizabeth Sobek's birthday.
Ooh.
I don't want to. I guess more people.
She's a main character. That's all we can say.
Yeah, I don't want to
awesome.
spoil. It's been 3 years, but with the news of it going to PC for people who haven't played it yet, I don't want to say anything. But it's an important character, so happy birthday.
Yeah, and the cool thing too, before we even get off this point, for people that have that graphics card, have that CPU, you'll be able to play in actually 4K, and that game is stunning checkerboarded. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Again, this is great news, and to see Herman go, hey, it's not every PlayStation game. I think it's just kind of to kind of disperse the flames a little bit. I mean, we're seeing The Last of Us 2 is probably going to get ported.
I mean, Death Stranding is.
Death Stranding is. So, to me, this is fine. I think as long as they give it a gap between releases, it's not going to affect Sony that much.
Agreed. Matt Kim,
next doors,
over at IGN writes, The Last of Us being adapted for an HBO show. The Last of Us director Neil Druckmann will team up with Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin on a television adaptation of The Last of Us for HBO. Druckmann will be involved in the creation of the HBO The Last of Us series. This is a rarity for video game adaptations, as the game creators aren't usually directly involved with the adaptation process of their games. Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Productions will co-produce the series for the cable network. Sources told IGN the HBO series will replace the previously announced The Last of Us movie adaptation. Mazin is best known for creating 2019's award-winning series Chernobyl about the nuclear disaster in Ukraine. Mazin is reportedly a fan of video games and has called Druckmann, quote, without question the finest storyteller working in the video game medium, and The Last of Us is his magnum opus, end quote. Getting a chance to adapt this breathtaking work of art has been a dream of mine for years, and I'm so honored to do it in partnership with Neil. That's the actual end quote. Druckmann also commented on the project saying, quote, from the first time I sat down to talk with Craig, I was equally blown away by his approach to narrative and his love and deep understanding of The Last of Us. With Chernobyl, Craig and HBO created a tense, harrowing, emotional masterpiece. I couldn't think of better partners to bring the story of The Last of Us to life as a television show, end quote.
Holy crap.
Oh, boy.
It's happening, boys. It's happening. Buckle up. It's happening.
Man, I have mixed feelings.
Oh, okay. Why do you have mixed feelings, sir? Talk to me.
I love The Last of Us so much.
Okay.
To have a TV series just adapting what the story of the game already is, I don't, without having Troy and Ashley as the main characters, it might be too much for me, because I love those performances so much. But I'm very happy and I'm confident that Neil is a part of this process. So I know Neil loves the world. He will do the narrative justice. And I haven't seen Chernobyl, but I've heard amazing things. Just visually, it looked great.
Yeah.
I'm just a little on the fence because I love this. I hold this story so close to my heart that I don't want to see it get messed up or sullied in any way.
I definitely understand, being apprehensive about it because of the track record of video games being adapted into anything isn't usually that great. But for me, this news was awesome because, look, this is Neil Druckmann. He's not consulting, he's writing. right? He is producing this show. This is his vision. Whoever's getting casted, that's probably his call. Right? This is his creative work. So he's going to know if there's any way to adapt this game, it's going to be him. And yeah, Craig Mazin, who's worked on Chernobyl, I was talking to my mother because she's the smartest. But like, she really loved Chernobyl. I was just like, hey, you know, Mom, they're making a video game, you know, TV show. She's like, oh, great, that's nice, whatever. I'm just okay. Like, it's directed by it's gonna be written by the guy that did Chernobyl. My mom's like, oh my god, that's gonna be great. What is it? like Chernobyl was able to capture the minds of just like people like my mother who were there when Chernobyl happened, not like at, you know,
yes,
in the time. Yeah. She was watching it on TV. She wasn't the one that hit the reactor. Okay,
she was just standing outside with like popcorn, with like shades on. Like, oh my goodness,
oh, death and destruction. This is lovely. But like if there's anybody that could write a piece of work and do it well, it seems like Craig's the man to do it. And so seeing these two great minds coalescing into this one experience, or writing to make this one experience, I'm totally on board with it. This is awesome to me. I'm super pumped. I don't know who they're going to get as casting, and that's our first question about this as well. It comes from the most famous Seamus. He says, who would you cast as Joel and Ellie? Like, who would put your mind at ease? Because, like, for me personally, I am not a fan of, like, me doing the call of, like, who should be casted and who shouldn't be. Because I think, you know, the perfect example is, like, Heath Ledger.
Oh, absolutely.
When he was announced as Joker, we're all like, what the fuck? And then he totally owns the role. And totally redefines it. So, like, when it comes to, like, who's going to play the role, I mean, like, everybody does, you know, Hugh Jackman.
Sure.
And the girl from Logan. Like, that's always the first thing that comes to mind. But, yeah, to me, I don't know who. Surprise me.
I gotcha.
And I am so on board with this, Kyle. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I immediately thought of two people. And they're both from the same show. I don't know how it would work. Like, I feel like whenever they see them, they'll think of this show. And I'm talking Game of Thrones. I'm talking Jaime Lannister and Arya Stark.
I saw someone doing Jaime Lannister. I actually think he'd be great. Yeah. I think he's a
his
terrific
name is
actor.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau, I think. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but
probably did. But don't worry about it. I think he would be fantastic. I think he's a great actor. But I think when it comes to something like The Last of Us, I think you could definitely get big names in there. Yeah. But I don't want anybody. I would like a no name for Ellie. Yeah, that's my only thing. Yeah. Right, like, give me someone that I don't know, that I can't picture as Ellie. Do that, and then give me a strong actor that can, you know, own that role. So, like, a Hugh Jackman, I'm totally fine with, because I know Hugh is a great actor. Yeah. Guy that plays Jaime Lannister, I know he's a good actor as well, because I love Jaime. He brought that character to life, and so many dimensions to him as well. But the one thing that does worry me is, how is this show going to be paced? Yeah. Like, that is... Do you think... All right, listen, Last of Us has been out for a while. We're not going to spoil the ending, but seriously, this is a PlayStation podcast. What are you doing? Play Last of Us. How it's broken up into seasons. Yeah. Do you think that, like, that's how it's going to be broken up? Season 1 is fall, Season 2 is winter? Like,
oh, you're thinking this will take over 4 seasons. Yeah. I'm thinking it might just be one season. Like, one full... Like, I don't know how that would work. Maybe some time jumps here and there, but, like...
Yeah.
I don't want it to overstay its welcome. I don't want it, going back to the show I just mentioned, I don't want to Game of Thrones it. I don't want him to kind of jam-pack so much that it feels rushed. Because Last of Us is kind of a slow burn. And I want that same kind of feeling to it. Like, I don't want to overlook the David stuff. That David stuff is...
absolutely.
Oh, man, you could spend 2-3 episodes just on that. Like, I want it to be drawn out. I want all the lore in there. I want all the story beats and the performances in there. So, like, take your time.
Do you think we're gonna get, like, different, like, or new characters into the story as well? Because, like, the thing about Last of Us is it's so intimate.
Yeah.
right? It's Joel and Ellie for like 90% of that story.
I mean, then you got Bill,
So,
you have Tess.
Yeah. You're gonna have to do some cuts.
I would
You know?
I would really love if we get some sort of story of the boat captain. Was it Ishmael?
Okay.
Some of the in-game collectible letters you collect. I'm blanking on his name. It might not be Ishmael.
No, but I definitely know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's when you're on the beach with oh my god, the brothers.
With Amelie?
No, the brothers. No, no. When you have to run and then pass out. What are the brothers' names? I'm blanking.
Don't worry, I'm blanking on it too. Don't worry. Yeah, if we're tired, we might be down with the sickness as well. But like for me, I would like it so that like, yeah, maybe a season we have the brothers we meet in Philadelphia, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe for a season it is about David, it is about Ellie on her own helping Joel. Like, yeah, maybe season 1 is about Tess and Joel's with her as well.
Speaking of, that actress who plays Tess should be Tess in the show.
Oh, absolutely, she fucking kills it.
She's fantastic.
Yeah, she fucking kills it. So like, to me, that's the only things that I'm truly worried about is how we're going to pace one game, but also knowing that like the sequel's on its way. Mm-hmm. Does that also kind of put pressure on them to just make another Last of Us? You know, like a Last of Us Part 3. Does this like how the TV show affects the game? That's the only thing.
Also, Henry and Sam are the brothers. And another thing that bothers me is this going to take Neil away from whatever the next game he's working on? Like, are we going to get a longer time period of a Neil directed game? I'm not saying Last of Us Part 3. I'm not saying Uncharted. Right. Whatever new IP maybe he's coming up with, like, we're going to get more of a time in between games from him, which I'm kind of bummed out about.
I mean, that is a concern.
Yeah.
That is something we can't really gloss over, is the fact that like, yeah, his efforts are not going to be diverted into two big things. But it's also cool about PlayStation Productions as well. Let's not even gloss over that. Yeah. We almost did. Yeah. Like PlayStation Productions over a year ago, everybody's like, "Oh God, great! Oh wow, they're gonna have a Twisted Metal show.
Powers.
This is gonna be fantastic." Yeah, Powers. Oh, this is gonna really. Congratulations. This is HBO. Right, this is like HBO's on the same level of like a Netflix. You know, it's always those two are going head to head with some of the most premium content out there. They are the ones that are really pushing the boundaries in terms of content on TV. So like PlayStation, I think Sony's doing a great job of, or starting to do a great job of saying, and taking a look at that portfolio, saying, listen. What Sony is, first and foremost, is PlayStation. Almost a third of their profits is PlayStation alone. The other side of Sony that a lot of people don't see is production. They are huge into production, not of just movies, not just Sony Pictures, but also TV. Like Breaking Bad is a Sony production. So seeing them go, okay, we have all these IP. Some of them would make great movies. Some of them would make great shows. And then just kind of throwing those out there and kind of churning them out themselves is an awesome idea, because the movies are going to complement the games. And if we've seen from The Witcher, which is a great example, when the Witcher TV show came out, look at how the game sold like hotcakes. Like they're still some of the best sellers right now just because of Henry Cavill as The Witcher, right? So Sony's probably taking a look at that going, wow, if the movies and shows can complement the games and the games can complement the movies, we can have just this river of money flowing back and forth. I think it's nuts. I think this is awesome. I'm personally super excited to see what this show is going to be because of HBO, because of the writers, because Neil's involved. And honestly, though it does worry me, I think you make a great point that Neil's going to be distracted. That is for sure a problem or could be a problem, but it also kind of gives me hope of like, well, listen, this is the person that made it, you know, like this is the person who, if they're going to know the characters the best, I would love, like if we're making a Kratos, movie, I would love, the Santa Monica crew to have a say in what Kratos would do and think. You know, I would love Corey in there saying, no, Atreus can't be that person. He needs to be this person, and kind of cast them themselves because they made the gosh dang thing. So with that, Kyle, let's get into, oh my God, we're not even done yet. We're not
also,
even out of the
just,
weeds.
Like, the voice actors that make up The Last of Us, they better be in this show some way, somehow. I want to see Troy Baker. I want to see Ashley Johnson in a background scene as, like, extras or something, or, like, have some couple lines of dialogue, because it just needs that, I feel.
Pay some amount. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I just, again... Give me a vision of what you think this would look like, in prime time.
Jeff Grubb over at VentureBeat writes, Reggie is going to make GameStop great again. Nintendo America's former president and taker of names is joining GameStop's board of directors. The huge gaming retail company announced today that Reggie Fils-Aimé is joining its board to help turn the company around. Fils-Aimé is best known as his time as president of Nintendo of America when he was the face of the company in North America. Quote, the gaming industry needs a healthy and vibrant GameStop, Fils-Aimé writes on Twitter. I look forward to being a part of GameStop's corporate board and helping to make this happen, end quote. GameStop sees this as a chance to bring in fresh ideas. Quote, the board refreshment and governance enhancements announced today represent an important milestone in GameStop's transformation as we continue to evolve the company's business strategy for long-term success, GameStop Chief Executive George Sherman said. They are each highly qualified and bring significant relevant experience to our turnaround, end quote.
I put this in the notes and you didn't like it, but GameStop's dead. Bury it.
Stop it.
Why? How does it? Okay, real talk. I'm now aggravated. Now I'm the one.
You're aggravated.
I'm aggravated. Why? How is this the best news ever? How's this going to turn around GameStop, Kyle? It's not.
Reggie is a smart man.
That's great. He's a consultant. If he was the CEO or COO, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's a move.
I feel that they're going to bring Reggie in, and if they bring Reggie in and just like poo his ideas, like, oh, we're not going to listen to you, like no, they're bringing him in because they want it to succeed. He is right. A healthy GameStop is important for gaming fans everywhere. Being able to go in there and see the box art, see the games, be part of that environment. Especially, again, this might just be my bias as a physical game media person, but like being able to still have a case to put on my shelf is something that I value a whole lot when it comes to games. I don't want it to one day maybe disappear from a digital server when they finally take it off the store. Like, I want to be able
that's
to hold
my whole
it.
But like that's my whole case in point, though, is like, how is Reggie going to turn what is, we're seeing it more and more each year, how is he going to turn 10% of digital back to physical? Like, that's just not going to happen. You're fighting convenience. You're literally fighting the future that is like, we just talked about HBO, right? And it's funny how we're like, oh, there's no way this show could, or at least I'm on the point of, there's no way this show's going to be bad. It's on HBO. HBO is the pioneers of this, hey, TVs as service. You want this thing? We're premium. You're going to pay for this. You could watch HBO on your phone, on your toilet, whatever you want to do. It's your HBO. Watch it the way you want. We see Netflix, right? Killing off, Blockbuster, West Coast Video, which I was the champion of, So like, I don't see this as anything more of like, look, at the end of the day, the board of directors, like, Reggie is still technically retired. This is still technically a part-time job for him. Yeah, I get it. Like, oh, he's going to give them his ideas, but like, that's where the buck stops. I see this because like a lot of people are like, what's in it for Reggie? And I would like to know what you think. Because for me, nothing. Like, Reggie comes in here, he gets a check, right? At worst case scenario, GameStop goes out of business and he could wipe his hands of it going, well, GameStop's GameStop. It was going under. I tried my best, but whatever. It was a sinking ship when I got there. And if he's able to plug all the holes in it, which I doubt, he could be like, look, I saved GameStop. Look at how smart I was. I invented the stuffed crust pizza. He worked at Pizza Hut before Nintendo.
I get where you're coming from, but I think Reggie is so much a ambassador of video games, first and foremost, that he wants to make sure that it is still a vibrant thing no matter where you look. And like it or not, GameStop is still a huge thing for a lot of gamers, and he wants to make sure that is still the case. I mean, look at what he did with the Wii. Look what he did with the Switch as far as marketing and the smart moves geared towards making those two platforms so successful. And I realize those are consoles, those are actual games, and this is a commercial, just a business where you just sell games. I still think he is too valuable to not to like say like, oh, Reggie's there, blah blah blah. It's not a big deal. Like, I think he's a smart dude. He knows what he's talking about. Like, he was at Game Awards last year. He came out and gave the best speech of the show, talking about why gaming is so important, and he was passionate about it. And him bringing passion to GameStop is probably the best medicine for him.
No, I get it. I definitely do. I just don't see. Again, I just don't see how he can convince me in where the internet consistently gets better, bandwidth gets better. As like we were just talking very briefly, before the show, going, I'm playing Doom on PS Now, streaming it off my PlayStation. Mm-hmm. It's freaking great. Mm-hmm. Like, how can Reggie sell me away from my streaming services? My digital marketplace, me buying stuff in my underwear. Things have to drastically change for GameStop for that to happen. And I mean, I don't even think at the end of the day those drastic changes could save them. Because like, if we're talking about, let's be real here, they're like, hey, how about this? We put out the card and it's actually worth a damn, and you get a percentage off of new games as well as used. Mm-hmm. Like, that's great. Best Buy tried that though. Mm-hmm. Amazon, look, you could buy the games in your underwear. Well, guess what? Still going to arrive probably late. Mm-hmm. Can't fight convenience. And I feel like GameStop is it's kind of like, man, it's going to the gallows, and it's clawing. It's just clawing, dude.
You know what?
I don't see it as a win. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's
you know what? It's time for some lightning news. That was my lightning sound effect. Listen, we're broke. We can't afford sound effects, okay? Can't afford a soundboard. Kyle, I got some news for you. Don't worry, I got this. Ghost of Tsushima is out June 26th. New trailer dropped. Kyle, what are your immediate thoughts of this trailer? Didn't see a lot of gameplay, but we saw a lot of what this story is going to be about, a lot of the world. So
I mean, talk about beautiful ass games. Oh man, I can't wait to get that on my TV.
Yeah,
it is gorgeous. The little bit of gameplay that we did see, super smooth. It looked really fun. It looked the Sucker Punch style of Sucker Punch to me when it comes to gameplay is like fun. It's fun to do combat and stuff, and this looked like fun. And I am all in. Collector's Edition has been pre-ordered. I'm so excited.
Same here. Yeah, no, this game looks fan-freaking-tastic. It looks beautiful. The atmosphere, just, oh my god. The part that had me with the trailer was two parts. First, I put it on Twitter where he's up on this hill and it's just the beautiful forest, and how green everything was. And then when he's on the horse and it's galloping, and he has his sword out and you just see the wind brush against him, it was beautiful. Yeah. I'm digging the art style. I'm digging how beautiful this game is. The brief moments of gameplay does scream that this is going to feel maybe, this is my feelings on it, maybe like an Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's what it was kind of screaming at to me, which I'd be down with. Because how long have we been waiting for an Assassin's Creed game in feudal Japan? It looks like we're getting it.
I'd almost get a sense of like Onimusha a little bit.
Ooh.
Because especially with the
Joe Afterwork said I love
the E3 demo that we saw, or the State of Play demo that we saw, or was it Game Awards demo that we saw, where he was like blocking and kind of like strafing around his enemies. It seemed like blocking defense is such a big deal, kind of like that old school Onimusha type feel to it.
Yeah. Whatever this game is, I'm super down on it.
Excited.
This is super up on this. This is awesome. I'm I got the collectors as well. And when we're talking about collectors, let me tell you, this comes from the blog itself. You have a steelbook and a digital version for $69.99. Sexy. Of course, you get the game, steelbook case, digital art book. You get a special skin for your character, for Jin, and then other in-game items like horse armor, because that always goes over very well. And then you got the collector's edition for $169.99. Of course, American, not Canadian funny money. Replica mask, a war banner, cloth map, mini art book, Ghost of Tsushima. Sorry. It's like Ghost of Tsushima coming out June 26th. Steelbook, digital art book. Again, more horse armor and other awesome cosmetics. So for again $170, I was just like, dope. The mask looks dope. I'm not like a huge like shinobi like Japanese like art style, but like something about Jin, something about the Ghost of Tsushima. He looks so fucking
and
cool.
they've teased the powers that he has, and we haven't really seen much since that first reveal. So I'm excited to see what powers.
You mean like his abilities?
Like so like the first reveal, like he
he
dropped smoke and he looked like otherworldly. So like I wonder if that's part of the game as well.
I hope there's no like yokai bullshit in here. Like I hope this is strictly from like the history, no magic. Just like give me like ghost powder. Jesus Christ, give me the smoke dust or whatever, the smoke bombs. Give me that, and like you could call it magic because that's what they thought they were using. So like you could have a grenade and be like fire bomb or whatever. Like that would be cool if they referred to alchemy as magic. But like to me, just keep it based in reality. I'm really digging it.
I'm just happy to have. Like I've said this on the show before. It is my mission to have a statue for every first-party game, minus the ones that I can't get because they're too expensive. But like, so having this mask up with my other statues is going to look real great. It's going to look really nice.
I think this could be the best statue yet.
Yeah.
My favorite still. I know you all are thinking Spider-Man, but if you take a look at it, some of it not a fan of. It is God of War. That one is just
Aloy one's pretty good too.
Chef's kiss. Yeah. With that, Marcus O'Neill writes in, I'm curious what you guys make of the Ghost of Tsushima release date. Why is it so close to The Last of Us Part 2? That is true. It's literally like a month after it. I got a month to beat The Last of Us, Kyle.
Yeah. But like I like the trend. Every month we're getting a PlayStation exclusive. Right? We're getting Neo 2 out this week. We're getting Final Fantasy next month. We're getting Last of Us May, Ghost of Tsushima in June. Then you got to think, is July the PS5 drop when they give out all the information? Kind of like bam, 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 bam. Every month is something PlayStation huge news-wise.
That would be... I mean, because like a lot of people we need, Sony's not announcing it. It shows that Sony doesn't have faith in the product. No. And I'm like, that's not what it means. It just means they have other shit that they have to market first. They don't want to devalue The Last of Us by putting out PlayStation 5 news in front of it. You know, you want to be smart with it. Usually the marketing cycles for the next gen consoles start right as they announce them at E3. So June, July, that's when you're getting all the pre-orders in. Sorry to tell you, but that's when most people actually give a shit. So
especially all those teenagers with their summer jobs looking to spend that money.
Yeah. We're gonna be fine, y'all. Yeah. We're gonna be absolutely.
But I think it's dope. Every month, PlayStation exclusive game to play. Hell yeah.
I mean, we have Dreams in February, right? We have Neo this
and
month.
MLB The Show.
And MLB The Show. We have Final Fantasy VII with my boy Cloud, my cute boy Cloud. Then you have May with Ellie, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and that's going to round out PlayStation 4. Awesome. And again, also, if Ghost of Tsushima doesn't do well, then they can say, well, it's because The Last of Us got pushed and it was sort of clouded or whatever. We didn't have enough time to market it and it was a dead time of the year. So they have a fallback position. But honestly, from where this game looks right now, I'm totally
Also,
on board. I think a lot of people are as
Famous
well.
shame would still be mad. We forgot Persona 5 Royal is also something in this next couple, very soon actually. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. There's a lot of games to play.
A lot of PlayStation
games
stuff.
to play.
But Kyle, we're finally at the end because you know what? There is no Andy Snail Mail. We used up all the questions for the show, and that's how Daddy likes it. Okay, Daddy likes his questions in the show. All right, Daddy doesn't. Sometimes Daddy needs a day off from stealing other people's mail. Okay, kids. All right, Daddy's here. Daddy's here. Daddy. Kyle, are you holding on to something?
Always.
Good. Prepare the drop. Each and every week, PlayStation drops the latest and greatest onto the PlayStation storefront. The only problem is that there are way too many awesome games to name. So each host, Kyle and Joseph, picks a game of their choosing and talks about why they're so hyped for said game. Kyle, what's your pick?
My pick is a game called Neon City Riders. Looking for a 2D action adventure mixed with super-powered urban gangs in a post-cyberpunk neon scenario? Take on the role of Rick, a masked vigilante who needs to explore the decaying futuristic neon city in search of items, superpowers, and companions to free the turfs from the 4 superpowered gangs' claws. This game was at PAX. I saw it being played. It looked cool.
Oh, it's dope.
Yeah.
I like how it's like Neon City, and then it's just like Rick. Yeah. That's the name of the protagonist. I dig it. My pick is Neo 2. Listen, I was going to do a funny one because Neo is an obvious pick, but wait for it. I was too lazy. So Neo 2, Journey to 1555 Japan. That's like a time machine. I need like a DeLorean. So take a DeLorean to 1555 Japan, a country gripped in endless warfare where monsters and evil spirits stalk the land of natural beauty and menacing peril. Hunt down your enemies as a rogue mercenary wielding the supernatural supernatural powers of the mythical yokai. Can you survive the treacherous Sengoku era? And wait, can I say it in the accent? No. Sengoku Eraru. Did it anyway, bitch. And the new terrifying Dark Realm.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. That's it. Man, there was a lot of stuff to talk about, man. This episode has been crazy.
I didn't even get into the WB news, really. Like, we kind of glossed over that, but like...
Oh my god, do you want to talk about it right
now? That sounds like the most hyped thing ever in my life. The fact that WB was planning a first ever conference to talk about the Batman game, Harry Potter, and the next Rocksteady game. 3 of my top 10 favorite pop culture things ever. Like, that is already my most anticipated thing if they're going to do a direct style video. Like, oh, man, I'm so excited.
Okay, here's a question for you before we go then, okay? It's true. There's been so much news. There's so many angles we could have tackled this in. It's nuts. It's nuts. Kyle, my question for you, where are all these games going to fall when it comes to the promotion-wise? Is it going to be like all PlayStation, some of it Xbox? What game do you think is going to match well with certain manufacturers? Like I think Batman's a clear shoe-in for PlayStation. Sure. Always. Mm-hmm. It has been for a minute now.
If Rocksteady's game is not Batman oriented, I could see it maybe going to Xbox.
Okay.
Still be multi-platform, but like marketing and stuff over there. Harry Potter's a weird one. I don't know where Harry Potter will go.
Harry Potter.
Maybe that is the Xbox. I hate you. Stop it. Don't you dare sully Harry Potter.
Dumbledore.
Now I got Harry Potter puppet pals stuck in my head.
Oh, Governor, I got a little wand. I shoot little pixie dust or whatever. Love. Oh, what's all this then?
I need to stop bringing up the things that I love here because you just shit on them and ruin them for me.
Yeah, man, Harry Potter's super lame. I can't do it.
Man.
Again, it is just the West Wing, but for Magic users.
Whoa.
It's like, how can I?
Whoa.
How can they're just walking in the hallway, they're talking about fucking magic spells or whatever.
I'm doing what I should not be doing, and I'm biting my fingers and touching my face because that's how angry I am with you right now.
Can you feel it, Kyle?
I'm about to flip this table.
Guys, that's been the Trophy Room, a podcast made by the players for the players. Kyle, before we go, anything you want to pimp out?
As always, I like to pimp out myself. WhoDatNinja73 on Twitter and on PSN. Speaking of, I've gotten like 3 friend requests on PSN because of this show, saying that they listen and love the show. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate you. My show all about the Kind of Funny community. Best Friends Talk Funny is at BFS Talk Funny on Twitter and wherever you listen to podcast services. Go to kindofnyc.com for all future meetup details in the New York City area, as well as our other gaming focused show where we just talk about what we've been playing, platform agnostic, as well as our conversation show, Dollar Slice Pod. Everything's at kindofnyc.com.
There you go. And hey, gang, guys, I totally forgot. Listen, each and every week, you can send your 5-star reviews over on iTunes. Write it down. Tip, tap, tip. That's all you need. You'd be like, great show, guys. Bam. It helps us out. It grows this big, beautiful family. But we also got a few new reviews. I want to read one of them for us this week by Nerd Guy Steve. Great personality, great people, fantastic PlayStation content. Highly recommend. I highly recommend you, Nerd Guy Steve. Thank you all so very freaking much. We're at 62 reviews now. We've grown by 1 since last week.
Get it to 7 more.
Gotta get 69. Super cool. It's the coolest number. And you can find the show, of course, on iTunes, on Spotify. Again, if you like what you heard, patreon.com/badbit. It really does help this show grow. And you can find it here at Bad Bit Games, where we talk about all things game news and reviews. And trust me, this month is a lot of stuff we're going to be covering. And yeah, I got a big surprise. Hopefully next week I'm able to unveil it.
Super dope.
It's
super dope.
It is going to change things. Wake up, samurai. We got a city to burn.
Ooh.
Kyle? I
little
know.
tease.
Things are getting
little
crazy.
Tease.
A little tease. What a great show. Everybody, again, thank you all so much for listening each and every week. Truly makes my heart sing when I get messages. Yeah, like this week as well. Keep on getting messages of how awesome we are, filling my ego up. Like I needed that more. Thank you guys and gals for watching, tuning in, and supporting the show each and every week. Seriously, it means so much. And so with all that said, and with all that out of the way, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.